So today's class we're going to do, it's specially for the knees. Please don't hurt your knees in the class, okay? Anybody that's got problems with the knees. We're going to try to work with the knees today, work gently, and as I said, you'll probably need 2 blocks or 4 blocks, a bolster, blanket, and a towel, 2 blankets if possible. Okay. So come to standing Tadasana. Have your feet together. So have your inner heels touching. Lift the knees. Lift the thighs. Draw the thighs against the bone. So we really want to concentrate on lifting the kneecaps today. Drawing the, using the thigh muscles to draw the kneecap up. Take the coccyx through to the pubic bone and then lift from the pubic bone to the navel. Lift the chest but draw the upper front, the lower front ribs in. Broaden the collarbones and then stretch into the fingers. So look straight ahead. Find a focusing point on to look at. So the first thing we're going to do is to actually practice using the knees and the hamstrings. So let me just find a good position. So what we're going to do is standing. So standing straight, we're going to take the right knee up. Take the right foot up. I'm doing it in opposite so that you can see. So what we're going to do is keeping the knees together and keeping a straight posture. We now just slowly work the knee and lift the knee by working the hamstring muscle. That's the muscle at the back. And don't let it cramp. So often what happens is because we don't use this way of using the knee, it will cramp. So just come out of the cramp, and go very slowly. And do it by only trying to activate the hamstring muscles at the back of the knee. And you can actually even feel them with the one hand. And now just watch not to come forward. We're lifting the chest, we're keeping the whole body straight, and then we're just slowly moving the knee up to where you can without it cramping. And now we're going to draw the thigh muscle back to keep the knee straight and then lift the chest. And then if you can, so you're extending, you're not bending here by the hip. And then you lift the knee some more. So you're really feeling the hamstring muscle activated. And then bring it down. You go to the other knee. So, and the idea here is to do it as slowly as possible. So we're having the knees straight, concentrating that we're keeping the whole upper leg stationary, only revolving the whole knee around the knee joint, as if it's pivoting, as if it's a hinge there. So we're keeping the whole upper leg stable, and then we're using the hamstring muscles now to lift the knee up. If it cramps, come down a bit. As I said, so often we have the situation where this action is never needed, so it can sort of create cramping in the brain. The brain is not knowing what's happening, and so it cramps the muscle. So just do it a few times. Now the last time we really pull, keeping the whole upper left leg stable. Draw the heel towards, really activating the hamstring, and now concentrate on lifting and drawing the thigh against the front thigh to keep the front thigh active as well, and then lifting the chest. Okay, and then come down. You're going to do it again on the other side. The idea here is to do it as slowly as possible, not to cause any cramping, but to activate that hamstring muscle. So often in yoga we're working on lengthening the hamstring muscles. Now we're working on working the hamstring muscles, and we just do it slowly. And then when you come to the foot to the top, then really lift up and draw the thigh muscle, lengthen the hip extensor, so you're lengthening the spine away from the hips. Okay, and then just go to the other side again. Slowly, keeping the upper leg totally stationary, pivoting around the knee joint, lifting the foot as high as possible, just doing it slowly, and really isolating, in a sense, the hamstring muscle. And then once you've lifted it up, and you've lifted it as high as you can without cramping, now draw the thigh muscles against the bone and lift the chest up. So get your chair. I'm going to do the and have your blocks. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the Uttanasana, the forward bending stretch, but with the hands, with the feet on the block. So first of all, getting the, so if you're finding that the blocks are too much, you can use a rolled up mat. You can even use a bolster. So having the bolster or something to bring height, you can even do it like that. So what we're doing now is we're coming into the, first of all, into the Tadasana mountain pose. But now using the blocks to open up the back of the knee and to stretch the calf muscles. So imagine that you're drawing the calf muscles away from the front of you, but you're lengthening almost. So just imagine that you're lengthening the ankles away from the front of your body, so in that direction, but then drawing the backs of the thighs slightly forward and then lifting the chest. So we're really working on opening up the back of the knee and the calf. And now also work the inner calf backwards. So the inner calf goes out towards the outer calf, as do the inner legs and the outer hamstrings. And then just lift up. And take your hands on your hips, lift the chest, draw the upper thigh muscles strongly against the bone. And our attention is in the opening of the back of the knee, and then the front of the knee, we're drawing the kneecap up. Okay, now if your balance is good, take your arms up, stretch up into the hands, lengthen the whole sides of the body, turn the palms forward, and then breathing out, come down and bring your hands onto the chair. So find a height that's good for you, either the chair or the backrest. So with bending forward, we're not going to be pushing and hyper-extending the knees backwards. That's not our aim. Our aim is to open the knees. So we lifting the thigh muscles strongly up. we're moving the ankle bones back and down. And through that we get opening. We're not pushing the knees backwards, we're lifting the front kneecap up. Lifting the buttock bones up. And now, pressurizing the hands, now we lengthen the chest away from the pubic bone. Try to concave the back, so drawing between the shoulder blades down, take the chest forward. Keep lifting the kneecaps, lifting the thigh muscles strongly. And you can even look up. Easy breathing, use the breath, so breathe in and then breathe out, create more length, but gently. Really work the kneecaps up, the thigh muscles, the groins up. And now imagine that now the inner legs go back more. So they're rotating slightly inwards. This opens up the hips slightly and broadens the calf muscles and the hamstring muscles. Easy breathing, full in breath, full out breath. Okay, and then release. Just where you are, you can just take hold of the elbows and just now lengthen the body down. Just don't lean back too much. Just don't fall. Lifting still the thigh bones really lift, the groins lift up. Okay, then take the hands on the hips, breathe in and come up. We're going to do the triangle pose against the wall. And in this way we're going to use the blocks like that. So one block at 45 degrees, so one block on the floor and then one block at 45 degrees so that we can put the front foot on that block. So if you find it hard to, so we're going to do the triangle pose. So for something to rest on, if you have another block, great, or you can use your chair. I don't know if it's going to fit. If it doesn't fit, then we won't be able to use it. You can maybe use it onto the side. Yes, there we go. Just so that we're not pressing. There we go. So we're going to now use the block, find it nice, get it nice and stable so that you can really still press the big mount of the foot into the block. So get the right distance, make sure that the foot on the block is pointing straight ahead into the wall, that the heel of the front foot is bisecting the arch of the back foot. And then before we come down, just square off the hips first, so have them in an alignment. Take the arms out, breathe in, lift the chest, and then as you breathe out, extend over and take your hand. So we're going to just use the chair or a block, but we don't want to put extra pressure on that knee. We don't want to overextend the knee. And then if possible, we can now take the top hand up towards the wall. So the left hand is now in line with the foot, more or less. And we're stretching into the wall with the top hand. So now pressing the right big mount toe into the block. Strongly pull the right knee into the groin, and then from the back foot, press the outer foot in, and then stretch into the top hand. And then using your hand either on the block or the chair, the right hand, now you can just gently turn the chest so that the top ribs go towards your back, the bottom ribs come forward. So now we're really going to draw the outer edge of the back foot down into the floor to open up the calf. So draw the inner back calf, the calf at the back, on the back foot, away from the front foot, so backwards, away. And then you can feel you can even lengthen, draw the hips in even more. Okay, and then release, breathe in, come up, and then you'll just change over. So placing your left foot now on the 45-degree block, just make sure that it's nice and stable. Stepping the right foot back at the right distance so that you can keep both legs straight. So just get it nice and stable first. Make sure that the heel of the front foot is bisecting the arch of the back foot. Then come up, bring the arms up. Check that the heels, the hips are level, that the pubic bone is straight, pointing straight ahead of you, and that the breastbone is pointing straight ahead. Then stretch the arms out. Take a deep breath in, lift the chest, and then as you breathe out, extend over the left hand, extend sideways, and take the hand on the block or the chair. And now pressing the left big mound toe in, lift the left kneecap up, draw into that groin, and then pressing the right outer foot down, straightening both legs, take the right hand to the wall. And now draw the inner right calf back. So the whole leg rotates and it allows to draw the left outer thigh in. Lift the left kneecap, lift the left thigh muscle and into the groin. Easy, deep breathing so that you can open the cells up and then take up the slack by taking the bottom ribs forward and the top ribs back. Keep both legs, the kneecaps, absolutely lifting up. Okay, and then release. And then breathe in and come up. And then feet together and arms down. Take a deep breath in and out. And another deep breath in and out. Okie dokie. Now having your block, you're going to use the two blocks against the wall again. Going to place the block, the first block, a little bit away from the wall, so that we can place the right foot on the block and place the other block underneath the knee, and so find the right angle so that the shin bone is going straight down and the thigh bone is parallel to the floor. And then step the right foot back to the right distance. So we coming into the warrior number 2 pose. Just also check that the back foot, the arch bisects, is in line with the heel. Okay, so there we go. Taking the front hand onto the wall, just the fingertips. Now we take the back hand back. Now we turn, so now in my case now this is, we want to try to bring the belly button, the sternum in line with the front of the body. So lengthening from the inner groin towards the inner knee, and then drawing that outer right hip in. And now stretch into the outer back foot. Keep that thigh muscle working up, the knee working up. And then using the left hand to draw the left shoulder in line with the right hip. Okay. Release, come up, and then we change around. So taking the left foot onto the block, the other block underneath the shin, just have it ready there, and then walk the right foot back so that you can get a nice right angle. Take the left fingertips to the wall. And now breathe in, lift the chest, bring the sternum to point straight ahead. So now again, allowing the inner left groin to lengthen towards the inner knee, drawing the left outer thigh into the body so that it comes more into an alignment. Take the right hip back, the left back hip forward. Take the belly button to face straight ahead, the sternum straight ahead, and then using your right hand, take the right shoulder back in line with the right hip. Stretch into the outer right foot, straighten the knee, lift the kneecap towards the groin, and then you can even look over to your left hand. Deep breath in, lift the chest. Okay, and then release. Breathe in and come up. Okay, so that was a new version of warrior number 2. Keeping the one block, we're going to now do a version of the chair pose. We're going to just do this slowly. We're going to do it against the wall as well. So having the blocks in between the knees. You just bring the feet about a foot away of your own. Coming towards the wall now with the back. So now as we breathe in, lift the chest, keep the shoulder blades to the wall, but keep the sacrum towards the wall. So breathing in, lift the chest, breathe out. Now we just gently slide down the wall. Keep the knees gently working that block together, but drawing the tailbone now towards the back of the knees and lifting the chest. And then breathe out, come up. Then breathe in, lift the chest, breathe out. Breathe out and come down slowly. Just come down slowly. And then breathe in, lift the arms up. But keep working the sacrum against the wall so that the tailbone goes towards the back of the knees. Lift the arms, stretch up. Breathe in. Then release, take the arms down. Breathe out and come up. So now we're going to just work on the firing patterns of the knees. We're going to do some squats, but only as far as what you can go. So the whole idea is that we come down and as high, just as far as what you can go. So if you can only go this far, that's fine. But this is where we're going to change it slightly. Is when coming down, it's almost like we're going to be pulling the body down. So we keep the knees active and feeling with the backs of your hands. We don't want that hamstring muscle to loosen. We want it, so we're activating the hamstring muscle to almost do the squat with the hamstring muscles, if that makes any sense. So let's try. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, just bend the knees, but keep all the muscles around the knee active, especially the hamstring muscle. You can, if you're coming down low and you need to have the feet slightly apart, that's fine. We just want to make sure for now that the feet are in line with the knees are bending in line with the feet. And then just come down as low as you can, but activate it. So the idea here is to do it slowly. So activate the muscles around the knee, activate the hamstring muscle. So it's almost like you're pulling your feet together, but they're staying where they are. And you're pulling the buttocks down towards the heels, not just resting into your... So just come down, keep them active. Check. So if they're not active, then it's a very difficult action if you're not used to it. And then coming up. You'll just do that a number of times. So just go at your own pace, rather slower than quicker. The idea is to keep all the muscles, especially the hamstring muscle, activated. So you've got to also press the feet evenly down, lift the inner heels, press the heels down, activate all those muscles as you come down. So it's not about, it's about keeping the muscles active. And then just doing another one. So keep those hamstring. The hamstring mustn't be loosened. If you're not pulling the buttocks towards the knees, if they're loose, so pull it towards. So we're using the hamstrings to do this squat to get full activation of those muscles while we're bending the knee. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do another version of the squat. So we're going to come down onto the knee now. So have the feet slightly apart. Now what we're doing is we're going to come down with the bend the right knee, and come down, activating all the muscles in both legs, so in this hamstring as well. So it's almost like as you go down now, you're going to be pulling the feet together as you come down. That activates the hamstrings. But now go very slowly and have your chair if you need stability. Idea here is to go very slow but to activate the muscles. So the front, feel the hamstrings. They must be firing as you're doing this. Come down and then you come up. Idea here is to fire the muscles, not to go fast. Especially this front one. Pull that heel towards you. And then come up. And then we swap over. So when you do them slowly, it really fires the muscles up. And you see how in normal motion we actually don't use the muscles. And when they're not getting used, they don't offer protection for the knee. So now we're concentrating on firing all the muscles up as we bend. Check with your hands that they're firing. And then come up slowly, slowly. Take a deep breath in and out. And then come again down. Firing the muscles. Check with your, tap the muscles to see that they're firing. They mustn't be loose. And then coming up slowly. Rest when you're at the top. And then we do another one. Just check that those muscles are firing, going very slowly. And don't use any pain. There shouldn't be any pain. So if you're experiencing pain, that's, you know how far you go. You don't go further, you back off. And then the next time you go up to that point. And now this is the other one, is so we do know that the knee doesn't like bending sideways. And now we're going to do a squat with the knee bending sideways. And in this case, extremely important not to have pain. So only bend so we're first going to bend the knee outwards slightly. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bend, and here the foot on the ground must stay sticking to the ground. It mustn't lift up like this. It must stay sticking to the ground. So we're moving the knee outwards as much as no pain, only and then what we're doing is we're going to do a squat with that, keeping the foot exactly on the ground but moving the knee outwards and then pressing up. Again, trying to activate all the muscles in the knee but without pain. So pull the body towards the back of the knee to activate the hamstring. And then come up. Just going to do two. Now we're going to do with the knee inwards. Just remember, this is where if the meniscus is hurt, it's going to hurt, come back from the pain. It must be totally pain-free. So now turning the foot in. Now we're going to do a squat again. Keeping the foot square on the ground and then pressing through the whole foot up. And then let's do that again, making sure that the hamstring muscle at the back is activated and that there's no pain at all. And then pressing up. Okay, now let's do the other knee. There shouldn't be pain. If there's pain, come rather straight. So now standing, just bend the knee slightly and turn the knee to go outwards. But the foot mustn't lift off. The foot must stay rooted to the ground. and then bend the knee, come down, no pain, and then press the whole foot down to come up. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out, and then let's go down again. Activate the muscles at the back of the knee. Don't hurt. Press the foot equally into the ground. And then lift up. Idea here is to do it slowly. Now we're going to go inwards. So from here, turn the knee inwards, only not to cause pain. So if it's the inner knee that's sore, it's normally the outer direction which will cause pain. Don't want to cause pain. And now we're just gently bending again. Keep the hamstrings firing. And then pressing the knee up. Getting all the muscles to work. And then come down again. And then pressing it straight. There we go. Excellent. Okie dokie. So coming down towards the mat, we're going to come into the bridge position. So lying down on your mat, bring the heels towards the buttock bones. Take the hands and roll them up to the ceiling. And draw the shoulder blades down. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, we lift the buttock bones up. Tuck the shoulder blades under, lift the chest. Now we're working from the backs, buttock bones towards the back of the knee, and the feet are pressing evenly into the ground. Try to get a straight line from the shoulders to the knees. And then come down. Now we're going to go onto the heels of the feet. So lifting the toes off, we're going to lift, but press into. Now if there's any pain, don't do it. It's just activating different areas. So lifting the torso again into a straight line. Lift the chest towards the chin. Hold it, deep breathing. Come down slowly. And then again, breathe in, and as you breathe out, lift the tailbone up. Get the body in a straight line. Keep lifting the toes off the ground. No pain though. Work the buttock bones, the tailbone towards the back of the knee. So you can feel there's a slight bit of firing on the hamstring muscle. Breathe in, breathe out, and then release down. Now we're coming down. Now we're going to go onto the toes. So as you breathe in, lift the chest. As you breathe out, lift the tailbone. Come up onto the toes, so we're pressing the toes. And now you might find that, as I am, there's a bit of cramping. So this is just an action that the body's not used to sometimes. And then release down. So again, pressing the toes down, lift the tailbone up, get that straight line, and then lift the chest. So we have a straight line, and then deep in and out breathing. Tailbone towards the back of the knees. And just watch that the knees don't splay out. We don't want them splaying out. And then release and come down. Okay, and now we're going to activate the knees again, the muscles of the knee. So as you breathe in, now we're going to, when you come up, we're going to keep the feet where they are, but draw them towards you. So breathe in, and as you breathe out, lift the tailbone up, get the nice bridge feeling, but pull the feet. The feet stay where they are, but pull them towards you. Keep the knees in a straight line, so don't let them splay. So we're now really activating the hamstring muscles at the back. The whole torso gets activated as we keep it in a straight line, but draw the feet towards you, towards the shoulders. Okay, and then release, come down. Now we're going to come up and push the feet away, but not moving them. Deep breath in, and as you breathe out, lift the tailbone. Now this time we're pushing the feet away as you lift the tailbone up. So just anchor the shoulder blades towards the ground. This actually helps draw the back of the neck towards the waist. But push the feet away. And now we're activating more the quad muscle. And then release. Come down. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, lift up, but this time again, pulling the feet towards you. Activating the hamstring side of the knee. Just watch that you draw the tailbone towards the back of the knee so that you keep a nice straight line with the whole body. But take the chest towards the chin. Drawing the feet towards you. Just hold deep breathing. Keep the knees in line with the hips, so don't let them splay out. And then release, come down slowly. Keep drawing the feet towards you. And then release. And now breathe in. And as you breathe out, lift the tailbone but push the feet away from you. Anchor the shoulder blades down. Allow the base of the neck to move towards the waist. Now we're activating the quadriceps muscle. Keep pushing the feet away from you. Lifting the tailbone. Chest towards the chin. And then release and come down slowly. Keep pressing the feet away. So don't just relax. Keep those muscles firing in the ear around the knee. The leg muscles. There we go. And then release. Take a deep breath in. And out. And another deep breath in. And out. And then roll to the side. Press yourself up. And now we're going to use our 2 blankets. We're going to fold them so that we have 2 like so. Have your towel. So the towel we're going to be using, so as we're going to be on the blankets, and then we're going to use a towel for the back of the knees. And then as we now come down, we're going to hold the towel here and just gently, so first of all we're going to come into the Vajrasana position, which is the feet together. And just holding the towel, we now gently come into a seated position. Now if you have very bad problems with the knees, you can even use another support, like another blanket, a towel, or even a foam at the back of the knee, on the heels. Key here is to help draw the back of the knee forward as we come down. So it opens up the knee as we sit down. And then having a nice comfortable seated position, just take your hands to the knees and then lift the chest. Okay, and now if you want to stay there, here you can. The next position is where we now open the knees up and come to seat between the knees. Now, of course, you're going to need support. So if you need a block, have a block. So we're going to use the towel. Use it slightly thicker if you need. It's nice to be able to hold when you come down, to hold the towel in place, so it really draws behind the back of the knee. And then now in the Virasana position, just help the towels, just helping to open the backs of the knee. The shin bones should be in contact with the blankets, so if they're not, you can put another blanket underneath, another roll underneath here, and just allowing the body to settle in this position. So we don't want to overwork the knees now. We have been working them quite strongly. So just be gentle, just take what you can, but just to gently just rest here. And now activating the outer shin bones and the outer foot bones down. This helps to allow the knee to come down at the back of the knee. While we're just resting here, we take our the left hand to the back, to the outer edge of the right knee, just taking the right hand behind. If you have your other block nearby, you can use that as support for the hand. And then breathing in, just going to do a gentle twist. So lifting the spine, lifting the chest, and then twisting, but drawing the outer shins down, the buttock bones into the support, especially the left one. Don't allow it to lift. And then release. Now we go to the other side, so the back of the right hand to the outer left knee, the left hand behind. And then breathing in, lift the chest, and then breathing out, using the hands to help twist, but keeping the outer shin bones working towards the blankets, keeping the buttock bones on the support. Breathe in, lift the spine, breathe out and twist, and then look over your left shoulder. Okie dokie, and then release. Now we're going to just stretch out the back of the knee by straightening come up and then stretch the left leg straight into the heel, Just straighten the one leg at a time. Next one, stretch into the heel. Using the stretch into the heel to open the back of the knee and then lifting the kneecap towards the groin. Just do a few of those just to open the knee again. And now using the blankets, you're going to just move them apart so that now we can have so we're going to come back with the feet together, but now just the tops of the toes are behind the tops of the toes are on the blanket there, and the front blanket will come just to the front of the knee. And so again, we're in this position, we can use the blanket again, the towel, so bring that behind the knee and then hold it down. And as you come down, allow it to open the backs of the knee as you bend the knees. And then let go. So now this is we're stretching the front of the feet. You can help the stretch by pulling the fronts of the knees up towards the groins, up. If you're finding that that's not enough of a stretch, you can make the blankets a little bit even wider, even thicker. It just helps to stretch the feet as well as the knees, but just do what you can. We're not going to overdo things now. So work with your capacity. And then while you're in this position, keep the chest lifted. Just allow the knees to settle down. We've done a few active stretches. We've done a bit of active work in the knee. So the knee will be, new blood supply will be flowing there. The brain, if there's any problems there, will become more aware of the problems there because that area is now being used. We have also tried to work with firing the muscles, with keeping the muscles fired while using the knee. So now we just allow all this new stuff to integrate into the body by just resting here. And then to further integrate, we're going to now come into the corpse pose. This is one of the reasons why we always do the corpse pose at the end of a yoga session. So just move all your blocks out the way, all the stuff. Just have a support for your head. And then coming down slowly. Bring the support for the head down to the tops of the shoulders. Take the shoulder blades to rest on the ground. Lengthen the elbows away from so you're lengthening them downwards, helping to open the chest. And then stretching the legs out. Lengthening the soles of the feet away from the body. And then relaxing the muscles in the legs. Allow the feet to drop out sideways. Allow the whole leg to rotate outwards. And then just make little adjustments. So make sure that the lower back isn't constricting. Make sure that the legs are equidistant away from the midline of the body, that the weight of the legs and the arms is even, just so that the body is in a balanced position from the left to the right. So the left and right hand sides are equally balanced, equally pressing down. And then also check that the head is resting equally on the support, not leaning to one side, but is exactly in the middle of that skull bone that's touching the support. And then once you've found your balanced position, gently close the eyes by bringing the upper eyelids down towards the lower eyelids. And keep the eyes closed, but bring the gaze downwards towards either your heart or to your feet. So when you breathe in, draw the thigh muscles down. Imagine somebody's pressing the hips into the ground. And then as you breathe out, allow them to drop further down with weight. Also check the diaphragm. When you breathe in, allow the diaphragm to broaden outwards. And then when you breathe out, allow it to drop down, become heavy and just melt downwards. So we're going to use a slightly longer exhalation to help relax the body. So use a long, lengthen the exhalation and breathe out into the areas of the body so that they melt down into the ground. Really let all the muscles relax. Allow the shoulder blades to draw down. When you breathe in, allow the middle chest to lift, but the upper sternal bone to draw towards the throat, so that the back of the neck lengthens and the throat softens. And relax the eyes, and especially in between the eyes, allow that area to open up and sideways. Allow this breath to become soft and smooth. And then totally give yourself over to your relaxation. Allowing the knees to fully relax. And then as we start becoming aware of our surroundings again, so we slightly increase the inhalations. Gently move the fingers and the toes. Allow the awareness to rise to the skin and into the room. And bend the knees one at a time. Take the right hand above the head and turn to your right hand side. Resting on your right arm, resting the head on the right arm. Just allow, in this position, keep the eyes closed, allow the breathing to return to its normal length. And then opening the eyes, allowing the light to enter the eyes. Keep a soft focus in the eyes. And then breathing in, pressing your left hand down, come up. Come into a nice, erect, seated position. Bring the hands to the chest, elbows down in, lift the chest, and namaste. Thank you very much. Hope you have a fantastic day today.